Well, we know that Waseca woman who tipped off police to what could have been a horrible tragedy is being hailed as a hero, and she trusted her gut.
Yep.
And this is what told her something isn't right here.
Yeah, but you know, if your gut's telling you to do the right thing or you're just a little paranoid, what's the difference? We pulled together a panel of experts to talk it out. We'd like to welcome blogger and advice guru Carla Barnhill.
Hi, Carla.
Psychic and medium Jodi Livon.
Hi, Jodi.
And motivational trainer and coach Kim Hansen.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for being here. Happy birthday, Jodi.
Happy birthday.
She's a birthday girl.
Oh, good.
All right, let's start with that idea. Is it instinct or are you paranoid? We've all had those moments where we've thought, oh, I think I hear something. Oh, wait, it's nothing. So how do you know when the alarm bells are sounding off for good reason? Jodi, can you speak to that?
Well, I wrote a book about this called The Happy Medium, and I talk a lot about how you start to understand those basic instincts and work them into your life. When you're paranoid about something, it pounds at you. It just completely pounds at your head. If something's nagging at you or tapping at you, that's your instincts. Oh. And your instincts will make you feel calm, whereas being paranoid or just being scared does not.
Okay, that's a really interesting difference.
Well, I think that, when I look at it, I think women's intuition is so much stronger than men. Because I think men sometimes are oblivious to the obvious. And I think that women are...
He said it.
Yeah, no, they really are. And I know for a fact, one time my son was throwing up and just not doing very well. And my wife says, we got to take him to the doctor right now. And I said, no, he's fine, he's fine. We took him to the doctor, and he was in bad shape. He was so dehydrated, we needed to get him to the emergency room right now. It was her gut against my gut. Mine's bigger, but she won.
No, we don't give men permission in our society unconsciously to have their feelings. And so intuition is about feelings. So if you get with your feelings, you'd be more insightful.
So Kim, you have a suggestion of how you can start to get to know this, because the idea, I mean, Jodi's giving a description, but still in the moment it can be really hard to differentiate.
Absolutely. One thing to recognize is we're in such a busy world. You've got so many voices and noises coming at you. One thing that's important to recognize is you've got to quiet down in order to really get used to hearing it and get used to feeling it and trusting it. So meditation, yoga, exercise, just going for a walk, commuters, turn off your radio if you're in the car.
Not if you're listening to My Talk 107.1.
Sorry. but certainly, give yourself a chance to really get used to your own inner voice. And then you can start to trust it.
Okay, and how do you make it better?
Well, I think you have to start to identify patterns in your life. And it is a lot of this kind of self-knowledge. It's recognizing how you feel in situations. But I think when you get a moment to kind of look at the patterns, do I tend to push people away? Do I tend to cut off relationships when they're getting uncomfortable? Do I tend to make my decisions based on what other people want instead of what I want? Like recognizing kind of the patterns in your relationships, how you handle difficult situations, starting to pay attention to that is a big piece of it. And then starting to kind of pull back and say, okay, in any given situation, what do I really want? And I think, at least for me, I often find the harder I'm working to justify a decision or a relationship or something like that, the less trust I'm putting in my own intuition. If I'm really having to work hard to convince myself of something, it's because I'm not listening to what it is I really want. And I think that's a good way to start to notice it, and a good way to start to pay attention is just kind of that self-knowledge, taking a minute to recognize those patterns in yourself.
Relationships are big with that too, because people are always wondering, is this the one? Is this the right thing?
And I think the other thing that I've tried to teach my kids, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. When you were talking about talking yourself into it, I think we all do that. There's another book out. I know you've got a book called Protecting the Gift. Have you heard about that?
I love that.
And I know that's very hot right now. And
Yes.
the whole idea behind this book is to really trust what you're feeling, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Because we often, once again, so many voices coming at us. How many times in a split-second decision or a long-term decision, we rely on others around us to help us make the decision, or we research so much that we lose sight of what's really important to us. What does success mean for us? What's going to make us happy is that decision that we're going to make listening to our own voice.
Well, coming from somebody that has always been really pushed around by insights, because I'm a medium and so I'm really pushed around by it, it's always coming at me, I've learned that I trust my instincts, but I also go by what my heart and my head say. And if they balance out, then I move forward. Otherwise, man, I'd be walking like this.
Well, because don't you feel like sometimes your instinct could be telling you, maybe you've got that self-preservation instinct that's saying, this is too big of a risk, this is too big of a risk, don't do it. And so if you're not finding the balance, maybe you're not pushing yourself a little bit to go, okay, I need to take a risk here and get the rewards.
And I think as women especially, I think we often think we have to be nice, we need to be polite, we need to make safer decisions, and we forget that sometimes those risks can be really good for us, and that sometimes it's better, like protecting the gift. One of the great things it talks about is when you feel uncomfortable in a situation, that's your instinct telling you this might not be a good road to travel down. This might not be a safe decision for me to make. And we often will kind of stay in relationships in the name of being nice that we need to end or put up better boundaries in or something like that. And so taking those risks sometimes means saying no to something because it feels uncomfortable to us.
Besides danger, what else should you be looking for? And besides danger, when you talk about the feeling, what else is there?
Being drawn to something.
Okay.
Like don't you feel like it's like literally when you're drawn to somebody, like you move in toward them, somebody talks about something that you're interested in that seems to really hum for you inside, you're drawn to it. That's that inner voice saying, listen to this.
If somebody comes across your path that you just immediately connect with, that's somebody who's supposed to be in your life. They're there for a good reason, and you should be really listening to that and learning from them as well.
Okay, so what if you're trying to figure out what to do with your life? It's not necessarily the people, it's like, I'm not happy in this job, or maybe you're home and you're not working and you think maybe you need a different path. How do you start to use your intuition to know what is good for your life?
I think paying attention to the things, like you said, that kind of juice you up. Like when you envision your life, what does it look like? What do you see yourself doing? What kinds of people are around you? What do your days look like? Are they with you in an office with lots of people? Are you doing lots of different kinds of things? Like just kind of thinking, what are the things that get me excited? And then not being afraid to follow those. They might not always be the biggest money makers. They might not be the kind of job everybody else around you thinks you should have. But if you feel like, no, that's a job that seems like me, that feels like a good fit for me, go down that road, pursue it, see what happens. You know, you're never stuck with something. Just try it out, see how it goes.
How do we teach our kids to really start to get this? Because Jodi, you say that kids right off the bat have an advantage over us, that they're just immediately connected to their intuition better than adults.
They haven't been told that their feelings don't matter, and they haven't been discouraged from it. It's just like, here's a table. There's an instinct. They might see somebody from the other side. They might just get a good feeling. Acknowledge it and let them talk about it. And if you're afraid, fake it. Fake it. Don't act afraid. Just let them talk, because if you are in a place of peace, they'll be in a place of peace with it.
This was so fun. I felt like I was on Oprah.
You totally were.
Like, wow.
Just without Oprah, but everything else was really the same.
Just hanging with the girls.
Joe, you can hang with the girls anytime, ladies. Thank you so much. You did a great job. So we, of course, want to keep this conversation going on our Facebook page. You can go there, check it out, weigh in, let us know your thoughts or maybe your experiences with listening to your gut and following your intuition. Thanks so much again.